Hello and welcome to another episode of Kia Electric News, your weekly roundup of EV news from Kia, Hyundai and Genesis. Just to quickly update you on a health thing again. I know you just called me Brian Signo, but I've been suffering with pain from a rotten wisdom tooth over the last 2 weeks. I've been very lucky so far on that it's not stopped me making videos. Next Monday I have booked with my dentist to have the tooth removed finally. If all goes well, I should be able to make videos next week, but if for any reason it doesn't go well, I could be in a lot of pain, so I'll let you know how I get on. In case you missed them, this week I did 2 videos. The first video was about the availability of Gen 5W EU maps downloads for Kia Hyundai and Genesis EVs. There was a new version of the Kia app for Android. Another issue with Kia app, which is the fact that the 12-volt battery is missing from the diagnostic screen for all models since version 1.1.0, and also more issues caused by the EV3 vehicle platform over-the-air update. The second was my EV5 GT Line S point of view test drive in-depth review. On the subject of the Kia Hyundai and Genesis maps, they were also released for download in Australia, New Zealand and Turkey last week. But there are very sparse release notes though. Even on the UK EU version of Gen 5W, if you click on the sections, it just doesn't tell you what's in them. Hyundai in the EU has also released a new version of the My Hyundai app on Android and iOS. The release notes said just bug fixes, and that's all. This brings those versions up to version 1.1.0. A new EU version of the My Genesis was also released, but only for iOS so far. The release notes said improved send to car functionality for Apple and Google Maps. I double checked this function on my Kia app, and this function has been improved, as you can see from the before and after videos. It now hides the opening of the Kia app, so that appears that Google Maps sends the destination directly to the car. Unfortunately, it still does not allow the car to send preconditioned points of interest this way. Could be that the head unit needs to be updated to allow this. I'll start the week with the Kia EV2. Following on from last week's news about the Kia EV4's impressive range in the Norway's Winter test drive, the Kia EV2 has demonstrated reliable real-world performance by covering 310.6 kilometres, which is 193 miles, at the coldest ever edition of the Norwegian Automotive Federation's Winter test drive, one of the world's most demanding EV tests. The tested EV2 GT line prototype, equipped with a 61 kWh long-range battery and 19-inch wheels, was driven for more than 5 hours, respecting speed limits in extremely cold conditions, before coming to a full stop in Norway's mountainous Jotunheimen region, where temperatures currently drop to -21 degrees Celsius. Although WLTP is yet to be finalised, the target figure for the EV2 with the long-range battery is 448 kilometres or 278 miles, 413 kilometres or 256 miles for the EV GT line with 19-inch wheels. A deviation of -24.81% places the prototype in first, ahead of the official participants. The EV2 is built on Kia's 400-volt EGMP architecture with 11 kW AC, 22 kW AC and rapid DC fast charging capabilities. With the latter, the prototype charged from 10 to 80% in 36 minutes, only 6 minutes longer than the official figures despite the harsh sub-zero conditions. The charging performance highlights the EV2's reliable everyday usability. Because it's a prototype, the EV2's results are not included in the NAF's final report. Nevertheless, the model still completed the route alongside the official programme, and in some conditions as serious production EVs. The formal WLTP figures determined under the standardised WLTP test cycle and conditions, including a reference test temperature of approximately 23 degrees Celsius by an independent accredited technical service, are expected to be released in Q3 of 2026. Held once in the summer and again in the winter, the test drive compares EVs on the Norwegian market under identical real-world driving and charging conditions. This year's winter edition was the coldest on record, with temperatures dropping to -31 degrees Celsius. Following on from that Kia press release, Jack Scarlett from the Fully Charged Everything Electric show also managed to be involved in the winter testing in the EV2. You can watch as he freezes his nads off after running the Kia EV2 down to empty. This video is well worth a watch. I'll put a link above in the video description. Over the last few weeks, there have been rumours from the US of a new magic bullet fix for the Kia Hyundai and Genesis ICCU failures on pre-facelift EV6 and IoniqN 5s. This involves swapping out the older ICCU for a new improved ICCU with the following code. The new part code is 36400-1XAA0QQH. There was also this article on Talk News which explains the situation. Basically, owners waiting for a new ICCU have had their orders cancelled and replaced with a new model number, which they're still awaiting, which is why this has caused all the speculation. Following those posts on Facebook, Ioniq guy Corbin reached out to his contact at Hyundai. He put, with the recent spike in ICCU failures, increased lead times and rumours of a potentially updated ICCU being installed, I asked Hyundai for comment. I suggested that if there is in fact an upgraded ICCU being installed, that they should be shouting it from the rooftops. Here is their statement. Hyundai is aware of customer concerns regarding ICCU performance in certain EV models and has put a comprehensive remedy in place. The repair includes updated ICCU software and, when required, replacement of the ICCU assembly and fuse. Replacement ICCU units are components sourced from approved suppliers and built to Hyundai's exact specifications, ensuring full functional performance at no cost to customers. We continue working closely with our suppliers to improve parts flow to dealerships nationwide. Because availability can vary by location, customers should contact their local Hyundai dealer for the most accurate repair timing and support. So a very waffly, useless non-answer really. Following that answer, Corbin reached out to US consumer website Consumer Reports. This was a really good article. Keith Barry at Consumer Reports says readers have asked why the Hyundai Ioniq 5 and other electric vehicles from Hyundai, Genesis and Kia don't score higher in Consumer Reports evaluations, despite their many merits. As with many vehicles, the answer comes down to reliability issues, and in the case of Hyundai, Genesis and Kia's EVs, those issues can often be traced back to a specific complaint, the Integrated Charging Control Unit or ICCU. In Consumer Reports surveys of more than 380,000 vehicles, Hyundai, Kia owners repeatedly complained about charging failures, power loss while driving and other electrical issues that could make the car undrivable. These are contributed to below average predicted reliability scores for the Hyundai Ioniq 5, Genesis GV60, Kia EV6 and Kia EV9. The Hyundai Ioniq 9 and Ioniq 6 also share the same part. According to Consumer Reports reliability survey data, between 2 to 10% of Hyundai and Kia EV owners experienced ICCU related issues, depending on the model and the model year. By comparison, the average charging problem rate for all other 2023 to 2025 EVs in that survey is just 1% or less. Consumer Reports asked Hyundai and Kia about how they will address the ICCU issues. Both brands say that they continue to work on the problem and some affected cars have already been recalled and repaired. In the meantime, here's what owners and buyers need to know. Some owners of Hyundai, Kia and Genesis EVs told Consumer Reports that their vehicles wouldn't charge and that their vehicles lost power while driving. I love the car, but when the ICCU fails and it comes to a dead stop on the road, it is hard to want to keep it, said one owner. We've heard similar stories from Corbin, who runs a Hyundai Ioniq specific YouTube channel, The Ioniq Guy, as well as a Facebook group for Ioniq owners and enthusiasts. He also says the complaints have increased now that the weather is colder across much of the country, which is what I've reported on previously. Both automakers say that software updates and parts replacements should fix those issues, but Consumer Reports data shows that hasn't always been the case, with owners reporting multiple replacements on the same vehicle. Repairs can often take several weeks due to parts availability, and one owner reported a wait of 2 months. Corbin says that owners tell him the same. Owners who receive the software updates still experience failures, and brand new cars continue to fail. Based on social media posts, some owners have already gone through 3 ICCUs in a few years since the car's been on sale. Because a functioning ICCU isn't required for DC fast charging, owners may still be able to charge at public chargers even if the onboard charger fails, but it's only a temporary fix. Hyundai tells Consumer Reports that it is working with suppliers to get parts to dealerships as quickly as possible, and that the automaker will reimburse certain out-of-pocket expenses related to the recall. That's normal. Kia says that parts distribution centres have replacement ICCUs and fuses in stock. So really? So why the hell are so many owners still waiting for parts? Meanwhile, on a related subject, Korean car blog reports that Hyundai in the EU is considering offering 10-year warranties on its electric vehicles. KCB says for years Hyundai's 5-year unlimited mileage warranty was the benchmark for value in Europe. However, as the market shifts towards long-term EV ownership and economic caution, our sources suggest Hyundai will soon debut a 10-year warranty with mileage to be confirmed. This strategy appears to be a direct export of their successful North American model, intended to reassure buyers as they transition from combustion engines to more complex electric architectures. I wouldn't say they're more complex, just different, and face the added competition of Chinese manufacturers. I hope Kia also mirrors this. It's especially important with the ongoing ICCU issues. They should also mirror Korea's recent ICCU long warranty extension. This week, website Carbuzz asked the question, did Hyundai just create a nitrous system for electric cars? Carbuzz found a joint patent application from the South Korean brands for a new type of electric vehicle layout that could make them, at the very least, more interesting to drive. In short, the companies have an idea for 2 batteries to power electric motors rather than 1. And it could enable brands to deliver serious electric performance without compromising range. Hyundai and Kia have patented a dual battery EV system. Hyundai and Kia's patent differs from conventional electric vehicles by using 2 traction batteries. Normal EVs do have 2 batteries, a main battery that powers the electric motors and a 12-watt battery that does not. Hyundai and Kia's vision would include a main battery and a boost battery, both capable of powering the motors. The main battery would be more efficient and have significantly higher capacity. It's the battery that powers the vehicle most of the time in typical driving conditions. It's a battery an owner would charge through an external charger or through regen braking. The boost battery would have a much smaller capacity. It would also deliver high power output in quick bursts. It could charge either directly from the main battery or through regen braking. The patent emphasises high performance with this arrangement, so all we're missing is a big blue NOx bottle. The big difference here obviously is the power shock comes in the form of more electricity versus nitrous oxide. Additionally, a software controller would manage the system instead of manual control with a button. It would monitor driver demand and the state of charge in both batteries. It would determine when and whether to supplement the main battery with the boost battery. It would also decide which battery to charge with regen braking. Korea Economic Daily reports that Hyundai Motor is to supply 50,000 autonomous vehicles to Waymo as physical AI move accelerates. Partnering with Nvidia and Google DeepMind, Hyundai has pledged to invest $87 billion in Korea and $26 billion in the US by 2030 to nurture physical AI and robotics business. I guess they're all going to be Ioniq 5s from the pictures. Autocar reports that Genesis is to move away from its common HMG EV platforms as Genesis eyes premium dynamics with bespoke platforms for EVs and hybrids. Genesis will introduce a new bespoke platform next year as part of a move to make its cars more distinct to drive and cement its position as a standalone premium brand. The new platform, which will be compatible with electric and hybrid drivetrains, is described as completely different from the Hyundai Group architectures it currently uses, like EGMP and the flexible M3 architecture that underpins its other models. EGMP is in the GV60. The company has not given any details about the new structure beyond confirming it is due to underpin its first car in 2027, but Genesis European boss Peter Kronschnabel said it's been engineered to ensure Genesis models offer a driving experience that is at once in line with the brand's premium positioning and obviously distinct from its Hyundai and Kia siblings. Genesis has not said which model will be first to use the unnamed new platform. It's expected that the forthcoming Genesis GV90 luxury EV will continue to use the new EM platform though. This week, Genesis also made its debut in France as a brand. 2 retail locations are to open this spring in Paris and Lille. They will be launching with a dedicated network and 3 premium electric models, the GV60, electrified GV70 and electrified G80. This week, Kia how-to videos released the English versions of videos I've previously covered and translated from Korean. The brand new English versions are PV5 DIY self-check maintenance items, 3 things to check when the PV5 won't charge, Kia EV5 Autohold Disc Brake cleaning mode, and what the PV5 steering wheel buttons do. And now it's time for some recall and software update news. The first recall is for the US built Hyundai Ioniq 9 and Ioniq 5. The high performance battery system may contain an improperly tightened bus bar which can cause a short circuit. An electrical short in the high voltage battery system increases the risk of fire. Dealers will inspect and tighten the bus bar retention bolts as necessary, free of charge. Owner notification letters are expected to be mailed April 6, 2026. There are only 27 effective vehicles. This seems like a repeat of the same recall of the US Ioniq 5 we had a while back. Meanwhile, in Australia, the Kia EV5 has a fresh over-the-air update software update for the automatic temperature control unit and the motor control unit. They've improved and updated the automatic temperature control unit, or ATCU logic, to reduce unnecessary power consumption. They've also improved the fault detection logic on the motor control unit. This week, IoniqN YouTube channel released a new short film hosted by Manfred Harrer, who is the new president and head of R&D for Hyundai Motor Group. In it, he talks about his new job and his sneaky morning drives in his Ioniq 6. He says, "I think there's never been a more exciting time to be an automotive engineer." And finally, this week Genesis released this new video, the Dynamics of Magma. Performance on demand without compromise. As you can hear the real sounds that the actual car makes in the background. Anyway, that's all for this week. If you're watching this video and you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. As usual, links to all source stories and videos can be found in the show notes in the video description. Thanks for all the comments and likes, and welcome new subscribers. A big welcome to new channel members, Ian Hood XJ2UW, and also Sex on Leg 666. Massive thanks to my new channel members for your invaluable financial support. If you support this channel and become a channel member for just £1.49 a month, you get advert-free early access to my videos and also video exclusives. If you're in the UK, you can also support this channel by using my Octopus and Electroverse referral codes, which are in the video description. We can share £100 if you use my Octopus code, or £10 if you use my Electroverse code. You can also support this channel for free by just clicking subscribe if you haven't already. And if you really like the video, you can also show your appreciation by hitting the hype button, which is slightly hidden away. The hype button is now found by scrolling sideways on the comments box if it's available on your version of the YouTube app. Thanks for watching.